There's been so much written about Chris Algieri. If we went through it all today, we wouldn't have time to even speak with him on the call, but let it suffice that he is the undefeated champ, the only champ representing New York right now, and a renaissance man in any sports. And to tell you a little bit more about him and the promotion, it's my honor to introduce to you Hall of Fame promoter, Bob Arum. Bob?
Thank you, Fred. What do you mean he's the only champ that New York has? The Jets just beat the Steelers on the weekend.
My mistake.
Anyway, I'm glad to be on this call. We're all getting ready to go across the world to Macau, to the Venetian, our hosts. Everybody is looking forward to this event. It's really building up tremendously. All these great fighters leaving who'll be participating on the card, and we're particularly thrilled to have Chris Algieri here with us now because he's really stirred the pot. People are paying tremendous attention to this fight. I want everybody to watch this weekend, this Under the Lights, because it's a truly terrific analysis of the fight. Tim Bradley did a great job, and Virgil Hunter, in analyzing the fight. So without further ado, although Joe is here and he'll say something later on, and Tim Lane, the trainer, let me turn this over to Chris Algieri. Chris?
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it. Glad to be here. Happy to be involved with the promotion and got the opportunity for this fight. Before we get started, I'd just like to take a moment to pay tribute to all the real warriors out there today on Veterans Day, and just give them the honor and tribute that they deserve for going above and beyond and fighting hard for their country and their beliefs. But that being said, like I said, I'm happy to be here, and training camp has gone fantastic, and it's been a tremendous lead up coming up to fight week. And Team Algieri is very excited about our trip to Macau. We've done all the hard work here, and we're ready to travel across the world and eventually shock the world.
Okay, Chris, thanks. And let's hear a couple of words now from your trainer, Tim Lane. Tim?
Yeah. How you doing, Bob? I'd like to thank everybody for joining in, and thank the promotion, Top Rank and Star Boxing for allowing us to be up in the show like this. And training is going wonderful. Chris is in shape. He's mentally and physically ready to go. And we're ready for our road trip.
Good, thanks, Tim. And now Chris's promoter from New York, All-Star Boxing, Joe DeGuardia. Joe?
Thank you. Likewise, it's a pleasure to be on this call with everybody. So much has already been said about Chris, and he's been a great ambassador for the sport. I'm proud of our association, and it's been a real pleasing promotion, going from Stony Brook to Wall Street to China, Macau, and, to the West Coast. So it's something we're really looking forward to. It's going to be a great fight on November 22nd, and looking forward to the fight between him and Manny Pacquiao.
Right, and you forgot to mention, Joe, that because we stopped in San Francisco, a lot of people there are crediting Manny and Chris for bringing good luck to the San Francisco Giants, who went from a wild card to world champions in the last Baseball World Series.
I tell you,
Fred,
it's a lucky charm.
Yeah, lucky charm. So, Fred, I'll turn it back to you.
Thanks, Bob. Operator, why don't we give instructions on how the media can ask questions, please?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at this time, please press the number 1 key. Again, if you have any questions at this time, please press the number 1 key.
Chris, while we're waiting for everyone to line up in queue, I have one quick question. It seems like you're everywhere. Somebody wrote to me yesterday after looking at all the things you've been doing at Stony Brook and establishing a scholarship there and leading parades and meeting Sylvester Stallone. They think maybe you're more apt to be running for governor than for the next welterweight championship. How are you handling all this media pressure during training camp?
Yeah, well, Chris Chris has been handling the pressure like there is no pressure. You know, we've been doing a lot of relaxation and meditation after the flight, after the press, after our workout, ice baths and things like this. Chris is this is the Chris Algieri show. Like I said before, man, this is what he's visualized for years now, and for him just to have the situation the way he's always dreamt about it, this is a dream come true. So there is no pressure. It's all great energy, and Chris is feeding off of all of it. He's stronger now than ever.
Hey, Chris, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Good. Just a quick question about, obviously, read a lot about your wish to go to medical school. With everything that's happened in your career over the past year or two, is that still a wish of yours? And at what point in your life do you envisage that happening?
Oh, absolutely. Pursuing my education is definitely the next step in my career. There's no doubt in my mind that my mind is still hungry, and I want to keep pursuing my education. But it's just got to be on hold right now. I have to focus full time on my boxing career because we're at the elite level now, and it takes 100% focus.
If I could just follow up on that really quickly, where did you wish to go to medical school or become a doctor come from, and what sort of type of medicine do you want to specialize in?
I'd always saw myself going to a New York institution because I love New York and had a great experience in college back on Long Island. Stony Brook is my alma mater for my undergraduate degree. They have a fantastic and very competitive medical school, so that would be a great place to look into. But there's other great schools in New York. So we'll see what's available and when the time comes. And in terms of what I want to study, I've spoken to many physicians and many friends of mine who've gone through the process, and oftentimes you really don't figure out exactly what your expertise is going to be until you go through your rotations and get to experience it firsthand. From my background in health and fitness, cardiovascular is very, very interesting to me. It has to do with health and everything. In a lot of the disease states that we're dealing with now in this country are related to a lack of good fitness and nutrition. And since I have a background in that already, it does make logical sense. But like I said, I'll see as I go through it. There's also sports medicine. So we'll see. There's a lot of options when it comes to medicine and healthcare. So only time will tell.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Mark.
And our next question is going to come from Dan Raphael from ESPN. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Hello, Chris. How are you today?
Hey, Dan. How's it going?
Everything is good. My question for you, Chris, you've taken up your residence in Las Vegas. You've been working out in front of everybody. Can't go anywhere without seeing anything on this fight, but it's all about you. And because Pacquiao is over in the Philippines and sort of out of sight, out of mind from a lot of the American fans and media, how has it been for you, in your first big pay-per-view fight to be the one that's had to basically carry this entire promotion? If no Chris Algieri is involved, you wouldn't even know there was a fight, frankly. How has it been for you?
It's been fantastic. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that you want as a fighter coming up. I'm a champion now, and now I'm fighting in the elite level, and I mean you want this kind of exposure. And a lot of guys say that they want this, but when it comes, they're not ready for it, or they didn't really want it. I'm not that kind of guy. This stuff gets me up. My open workouts, they're like fight day. I got a lot of pressure on me, and I rise to the top. So I've been enjoying my time here and the time underneath the microscope. And it's just, I really believe that it's helped our whole team step up and perform that much better.
So, Chris, you don't feel, though, that, and maybe this isn't the right way to phrase it, but, for lack of a better way to understand it, that you're kind of like taking advantage of here because you're here and you're the one that's doing all the interviews, you're the one that's doing all the appearances, you're the one with the open gym for people to see you, you're the one that's making appearances on the HBO shows when they have boxing events to do interviews and stuff. And Pacquiao is kind of like by himself, totally focused. Do you feel like it's been a little bit too much for you, or you're comfortable with the way it's gone?
No, I've been comfortable because this is actually my first time where I'm fighting where I'm not working as well. I've been a full-time boxer for this camp. So all this other stuff that we've been doing, it's kind of in par with how busy I normally am anyway. So, Pacquiao's not the only guy who does a million other things besides boxing. I've got a lot of other stuff that I've always been into throughout my entire career. I've put all that on hold now, and now really I've just been, more stuff involving, the promotion of the actual fight and doing interviews and making appearances. So for me, I'm no busier than I've ever been. I've always been a busy guy.
Let me ask you one other thing then about that. Should Chris Algieri win the fight, what do you think that does as far as a shot in the arm for the sport of somebody that's been so accessible and so well-spoken about everything and, comes across as just a great, nice guy to everybody? What's that do for your personal career popularity and also, you think, in terms of generating interest in the sport?
I would hope that it would elevate the sport to a more mainstream audience and really as a crossover appeal. We need to get more people watching boxing. I love this sport, and anything I can do to help it is great. And the more attention that is drawn to any one of the fighters, and myself included, especially in a positive light, is good for the sport on a whole. So if we can elevate the entire sport in the process of elevating my career, what the hell? Let's do it.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. Good luck with everything in Macau. Appreciate the time.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yep.
And our next question is going to come from Mike Woods from Sweet Science. Please go ahead.
Hi, guys. I'd like to take the time to do the call. This question is Chris. Chris, questions are held when fighters talk a little bit of smack, a little bit of trash. You're like to report yourself as a classy guy. When a Freddie Roach says something like you're a tough guy, but tough guys don't win fights, you like to run a lot, is there a temptation to fire back to help the promotion or to piss it up pride? And what part do you do? Stay silent and say, "Nah, I really don't want to get into that."
No, it's not my. I'm not going to change just to promote a fight. No, that's my stance to not fight. Back and forth. I'm not fighting Freddie. That's not the man I have to box with. So I'm not going to go back and forth. Firing darts at each other. You don't see Pacquiao doing that. That's Freddie's prerogative. That's what he likes to do. That's not me. Even if it helps with motion of the fight, that's not my style. And it is what it is. If he wants to say what he says, that's fine by me. What matters is fight night and myself and Pacquiao.
Got it. This question is for Bob. Bob, this is two birds with one stone. I'm trying to get a sense of the stakes of this fight and also working off of Manny Pacquiao's quote from the other day when he said, I want the fight with Floyd Mayweather, but it's impossible to negotiate when you are the only one sitting at the table. If you could quickly hit on that and then talk about if Algieri wins this one, is he in the slot to maybe fight Mayweather?
How can I talk for Mayweather? I mean, as far as the Pacquiao fight is concerned with Mayweather, as much as a lot of people surrounding that would want it to happen, myself included, Manny included, Floyd Mayweather is reluctant to fight Manny Pacquiao, period. If people don't see that by now, they're never going to see it. As far as if Chris Algieri wins the fight from Manny Pacquiao, then there is a provision in the contract for a rematch. And if he then beats Pacquiao and beats Manny in a rematch, and Floyd wants to fight him, that's not my business. That's up to Joe DeGuardia, and it's up to the Mayweather camp.
Got it. Good stuff. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
And our next question is going to come from Jake Donovan from BoxingScene.com. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Chris. I just have one question for you. What does it mean to you that you're single-handedly putting Long Island back on the map? I mean, I left it 10 years ago, and I think Buddy McGirt was still the only guy anyone was talking about. Now everyone is talking about Chris Algieri. This is the most anyone on Long Island has talked about boxing in a long time.
Boxing on Long Island, there's history there. It's been a while, like you said. The Buddy McGirts and Jerry Cooney's. But we're there's kind of a resurgence now. We're putting on shows there constantly. There's the Star Boxing shows at the Paramount have been fantastic hits over the years. There's a lot of up-and-coming talent now. You see more and more gyms with competitive and professional fighters in there. So It's really come up, and it's great. You know, when I was a kid, I started out in martial arts because there wasn't really boxing available to me on Long Island. I think now kids have more of an opportunity to begin boxing earlier. So it's great. You know, it's and like I said earlier, anything that promotes the sport on a whole is a good thing. And if we can do it on Long Island, where I'm from, to start, that's a beautiful thing.
Great. Thank you very much, Chris. That was the only question I had.
Okay, thanks.
Right.
And our next question is going to come from Kevin McRae from the Bleacher Report. Please go ahead.
Hey, great. Thank you guys again, everyone, for doing this call. Chris, Bob, Tim, and especially to Chris, I wanted to start out by wishing you nothing but the best of luck in a safe fight on November 22nd in Macau. Chris, my question for you is that they tried to touch on it a little bit earlier when you were having a phone connection problem, but, you know, as a guy like myself growing up not far from Huntington where you grew up, you know, seeing you come up through the ranks as a pro, fighting at the Paramount a bunch of times, becoming a big star there, do you ever sit back, Chris, and you know, play it through your head going from, you know, Paramount to the big fight in Barclays against Provodnikov and then now to Manny Pacquiao, one of the biggest stars, you know, in boxing history on pay-per-view? Do you ever sit back and maybe, like, you know, go through that in your head and say, wow, I can't believe I got to this point in my career this quickly?
Hello?
It's 0 to 100. Hello?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Chris.
Okay.
It's you know, it's 0 to 100. That's just the nature of the game. I told my mother a joke one day. She's like, Chrissy, it's just like you said it was going to happen. You know, it's going to be nothing, and then boom, explosion, and now, you know, you're a full on sprint, you know, toward your dreams. And that's just, like I said, the nature of the business. I'm not surprised by it because I've been watching the sport for years, and I've seen it in other fighters, and I knew my time would come. I just had to stay focused and disciplined, and you know, if you work hard, good things happen. So it's I'm exactly what I'm supposed to do.
Okay. I'm going to jump back quickly to your close comparison to your last fight expecting to come from 22nd. You know, Provodnikov is obviously more of a forward brawler, a lot of technique or, you know, technical aspects to his game. He's coming trying to knock your head off. And he almost got you in that first round. Out boxing for the rest of the fight. Yes, Manny's obviously a lot more rounded as a fighter. He's not going to come forward and try and knock your head off without anything else backing up that game plan. So how do you change the style with that to fighting a guy like Pacquiao who has more technical aspects and more wrinkles to his game than a Provodnikov who's just a straight out slugger?
Well, first of all, I just want to touch on Provodnikov's style. He's a lot better than people even think. I mean, he's really, every other fight he's had, every fight he's lost has been a very close fight, and he's really brought it. He was a great champion. You know, on top of being an exciting fighter, the guy's good. And tell you the truth, the Ruslan that I fought was the best Ruslan I've ever seen. You know, the guy was cutting off the ring, and his technique was very sharp, and he was faster than usual. You know, I made a mistake early, but you know, we all know how that went in that fight. So I don't want to downplay Ruslan's caliber at all. You know, he's a fantastic fighter. But in terms of his style and Manny's, they're completely different, and the preparations for each are completely different. But that's no different. That's no change for me. I'm always fighting guys with different styles. I'm not one of those champions who was brought up and fed the perfect guys to look great. I've had to fight every single style you can think of coming up. I had to fight my way to get here. I wasn't fed anyone at any point in my career. I fought every style you can think of: lefty, righty, tall, short, power puncher, fast guy, slow guy, you know, counter guy. So for me, it's the norm. You know, preparing for a different style. Manuel Taylor was a completely different style than Ruslan Provodnikov, completely different style than Manny Pacquiao. So it's just that's what training camp's all about. You know, that's why I stay in shape year round, so I can work on strategy, not on getting in shape.
Thanks. I just got one more quick one for you, Chris. I think you're coming up in the welterweight for this fight, but you have a 3.5-inch height advantage over Manny, with about a 5-inch advantage over him. I feel that your physical advantages in terms of your length and your height, even though you're coming up in the weight, it's in trouble, you're able to stick to the outside and outbox it. Is that your strategy, or you do something different sometimes?
Well, listen, I mean, it's genetics. You know, I'm tall for the weight class. It's the sport. I'm not built to go in there and stand in front of a man and trade bombs. That's why would I do that? I've got length, I've got reach, I've got speed, I've got footwork and defense. But that's not what's going to be the difference in this fight. It's not a tall guy versus a short guy. It's Chris Algieri versus Manny Pacquiao. It's what I bring to the table versus what he brings to the table. And I think a lot of it has to do with my mental preparation and my mental mindset going into the fight, as well as what we know from it. We know Pacquiao is he's a living legend and a future Hall of Famer for sure. He's one of the greatest fighters who's ever lived. So for me, I got to go out there and be myself. I have the tools and the talent to win this fight. I just got to go out there and perform.
All right, great. Thanks a lot, Chris. And again, nothing but the best of luck with this fight. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And our next question is going to come from Greg Logan from Newsday. Please go ahead.
Hi, Chris.
How you doing, Greg?
Good. Listen, I was just wondering about your reaction to the situation with the WBO. I know Joe's still working on it. Where does that stand, and what's your feeling about the fairness of them wanting to take the belt away?
Been really focused on what's in front of me. It makes no difference for me to worry about it or complain about the WBO situation at this point. I'm just focused on winning another WBO title on November 22nd. So it's one of those things where I don't have. It can't matter to me because I can't make a difference right now. I've got other things to focus on, and I've always been good at that in my life. If it doesn't make a difference or I can't make a change to it, I can't worry about it. I got to see what's right in front of me.
Okay, and
Greg,
yes.
That decision of the WBO is now on hold. Paco will be over in Macau. You will be there too. You can talk to him there. Obviously, if Chris beats Manny, all this is moot. So it'll probably wait till a decision will be made after the fight. But you'll have the opportunity to question Paco in Macau because he'll be arriving, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday of fighting.
Okay. Great. Just one last thing for Chris. I know you don't want to trade with Freddie, but what do you make of the fact that he seemingly is trying to intimidate you with some of the comments that he's made about being in over your head?
Well, for one, he's wasting his time because I don't even read those reports. So that's the first thing. Second of all, I hear about them from other people around me, and I just really say, it doesn't make a difference to me. But it's just, I don't know. It seems kind of odd for him to be coming out so much, and saying so many different things and so many different days, and every day it's a new thing. But like I said, I don't read them. I don't care about them. They don't make a difference. Come fight night, I would imagine it's some kind of strategy, some kind of mental game or whatnot. But Freddie's around a long time, and maybe this has worked for other guys in the past. It's not gonna work on me.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chris.
Okay, and our next question is going to come from Ube Ergales from El Dario. Please go ahead.
Hi, Chris. This is Ube from El Diario of New York City. I want to ask you if you feel that you are the wild card in this fight.
What?
Bob said the San Francisco Giants won the wild card World Series. So I'm taking his words, and I asked Chris if he feels that he's the wild card fighter.
The wild card.
Is Chris a wild card like the Giants in this fight?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh. Chris,
what do you think?
It's not just this fight. I've been the underdog in many of my fights in my career, especially this year, and people seem to think I've come out of nowhere. So, I was given an opportunity. A wild card is someone who's given an opportunity and they run with it. And I think I've done that. So yes, I think that's a fair association.
And in next question, you are going to fight in China. Probably the fans are going to support Pacquiao. Do you feel that you need a knockout to win the fight?
No, because I don't think fans score fighting. Judges do. Judges are a lot closer to the action than fans are. Fans sure can sway the way a fight looks, but I'm confident in the abilities and professionalism of the judges. So if I do what I'm supposed to do and things go the way that we planned, that we'll come out with the victory, regardless of the fan support.
Also, I wanted to say, you have to understand, if a fighter was fighting in America and he was Mexican, would you say that the American judges would favor him because they come from the same continent? And the answer is no. Manny Pacquiao is a Filipino. Most of the people at the fight will be Chinese, whether from Hong Kong or mainland China, and to say that the Chinese would favor a Filipino over an American is not to understand the geopolitical nature of different countries. I mean, the Chinese have as much affinity with a Filipino as they would an American, just like Americans would not necessarily favor a Mexican who is fighting over here. I mean, you have to understand that. We can't get into the narrow thinking that an Asian is an Asian. I mean, that's silly. That just isn't the case. There are Thais, there's Indonesians, there's Japanese, there's Chinese, there's Filipinos, there's various groups, and they're not always particularly friendly to each other.
Okay, thank you.
And our next question is going to come from Diego Morella from HBO.com.
Hello, Chris.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Hello, Chris. How are you? Hello?
We hear you, Diego. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, Chris. Thanks for taking this call. I'm calling from Argentina, where, your family comes from. A lot of people are already watching this fight, and a lot of interest. I wanted to ask you briefly, I know that you're associated with Marcos Maidana, and you seem to know all the fighters in Argentina. Argentina right now is undergoing what we call a golden era of welterweight fighters. Do you feel part of that era? Do you feel inspired by these fighters being that you became some of them and your family comes from Argentina? How do you feel about this?
It's great to see, part of my culture doing so well in the sport that I'm involved in, the sport that I have passion for. I grew up watching and hearing about a lot of Argentine fighters, especially the great Carlos Monzon. I grew up even watching ESPN fighters like Omar Vice, and now guys like Marcos Maidana and Sergio Martinez and Lucas Batiste, have been coming up, and more often you see Argentine fighters doing big things on a major stage. So to be associated with those guys, it's really an honor, and it's great to see so many of people from my culture, doing big things in the sport.
Okay. You are a nutritionist, and you post pictures of your food choices on social media all the time, and you also post pictures and videos of you eating muscle and exercising nutrition, and you name it as one of your favorite drinks. What do you create is muscle? We give it muscle a lot of properties. As a nutritionist, what do you think muscle has brought you in terms of your energy level?
Absolutely. I drink latte every day. During training camp and just and just in general. And it's packed full of vitamins and nutrients. A lot of B vitamins, which you normally can only get from meat, are found in there. The caffeine content affects me differently than say like a coffee does. It's much more mild stimulant. I can drink more of it. It's hydrating as well. It's one of my favorite drinks to drink. It's probably my favorite drink to drink, especially on a cold morning. But it gives me just enough of a pep from the workout. It helps also with fat loss and staying lean. So it really is just an overall incredible health drink. And on top of it, it's part of the culture. It's something that my whole family does, and we've always done.
Uh-huh. Here in Argentina, we say that sometimes you drink mate to keep the stomach, to feel satisfied between meals. Do you feel that this has helped you make weight or stay lean? You're a very tall guy with a very lean body. Mm-hmm. Do you feel that it helped you a little bit with that? Or?
I do. It's like you said, it's one and two things for the belly. It keeps you from being full. It helps you digest as well. So you get all the nutrients from your food. I drink it, all the way up until fight day. So it's a part of my routine.
And in another interview that we had, you mentioned dulce de leche. You kind of you told me that you saved it for after the fight. You see that dulce de leche or to save it after the fight, or is it part of your intake?
No, that's a treat that my mother loves, and it's something that I'm not big on desserts myself, but that's something that I'll have after the fight as a celebratory.
Okay, and finally, you fight in a very focused, very technical way, but now that everyone knows that you're close to Latino, so to speak, can we expect to you come out with a more aggressive style on November 22nd? I think that the master boxing technique that you like to go into a different style, a more Latino style, if you will.
I feel that I fight in an aggressive style, but it's a smart aggressive. And I would have actually been more aggressive in the Ruslan fight if not for the damage done to my eye early in the fight. I had to protect that eye and be even smarter than I normally would. But don't be confused by my style just from that one fight, because I know a lot of the world has only seen that one fight. I am an aggressive style boxer. And I will be in there to mix it up, but it's going to be in a smart way.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Buena suerte, campeón. Muchas gracias.
Gracias, un gusto.
Next question, please.
And our next question is going to come from Clayton Collier from the Times Huntington. Please go ahead.
Hi, Chris.
How you doing, Clayton?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
So I just want to ask you, how is your medical background, with Stony Brook and also NYIC helped you in your training? And, how much of that are you taking into account with Keith and Tim?
It's. I think of anything, nothing specific that I've learned in academic background itself, but I think just the time management and discipline to stay focused when you're doing difficult things, especially mentally and psychologically, to be focused and to be there and aware. Our training sessions, especially with Tim Lane and Keith Trimble, are very mentally taxing. We really work on very specific game plans and strategies and complicated concepts. So I've been dealing with those kinds of complicated things and mental things for a long time with my scholastic background. So I think that's definitely helped me. But in terms of anything specific, maybe just my nutrition and an understanding of the human body's healing processes for recovery and getting proper dietary nutrition.
Okay. And also, your high school family, the ones that have come out of there from the sports center, what does it mean one of the first big alarms that come out of the
You kind of broke up, but I think I understand the gist of what you were saying. St. Anthony's is a fantastic school scholastically and athletically. I'm honored to have been part of the program. I enjoyed my time there immensely. It taught me a lot about life and future and the future that I'm living now. As I said, it's an honor to have graduated from there and to be recognized as an alumni.
And Coach Tony Walters, how did he help?
Tony was one of the first international world level athletes that I've ever dealt with. And I was lucky enough to have him as a coach, and he taught me a lot about the mental aspects of training and competition. So it was great to be around him. He was really like a father figure to me, especially in my athletic background. So that's a person who I'll never forget, who will share in every one of my victories from since I left there till I'm done competing.
Okay. Our next question is going to come from Tim Ballbard from Associated Press. Please go ahead.
Chris, you were talking earlier about this being the first fight that you trained for, that you weren't working another job. What kind of things did you do when you trained for other fights?
Well, for the majority of my career, I was a full-time student, either at Stony Brook University or New York Tech, studying for my master's degree. After I graduated with my master's, I was working as a nutritionist and a personal trainer. So I've always had other businesses and other things going on, while training for a fight.
Chris, were you doing that? I'm sorry, Tim. Were you doing that during the training for Provodnikov?
I trained people on Tuesday prior to the Ruslan fight.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Tim. Go ahead.
Did they get in shape though when you trained them?
Oh, absolutely. I had some very, very fit people. I worked with a lot of athletes, helping them, especially combat athletes. I worked with a lot of MMA fighters, guys like Ryan LaFleur, John Belante, Dennis Bermudez, Chris Weidman's another guy that I've worked with, and then guys on lower levels, just kind of repetitive guys, amateur kickboxers, boxers, MMA fighters, and then also just moms, middle-aged mothers who wanted to get back in shape after pregnancy or after being home and not training. So I had a very, very varied client list.
And one other thing, you talked about the mental aspect of getting ready for a fight like this. That you've never actually been in a fight like this, so do you know that you're doing the right things going in mentally? A lot of fighters say the same sort of things, that they go into a big fight and they're going to be the one fighter that they're not distracted and they're able to handle it all. But once they get into the ring, things kind of change. How do you know that you'll be different?
I guess we won't know until November 22nd. But that being said, there's telltales on the way up. At press conferences, and everything leading up to this fight has been kind of like a dress rehearsal for the big show. All the attention, all the, being under a microscope for the past 5 months, I think has prepared me well. But like you said, I guess we won't know until that night.
Let me just interject. The one thing that does show, though, is the Barclays Center, when he got dropped twice in the first round, the action was on a bigger scale than he has ever been on before.
Thanks, Tim. Any other questions?
And our next question is going to come from Lim Satterfield from RingTV.com. Please go ahead.
Chris, how you doing?
Good, Lim. How are you?
I'm blessed. I'm doing well. You made a reference to smart box. with your style change?
Hey, I didn't hear pretty much any of that question.
Yeah, me either. Len, can you repeat that, please?
Yes. I said you try to be an aggressive boxer. Boxing has kind of taken a hit lately. And I wanted to know if you make a conscious decision to entertain as you box, or does it just depend on the fighter you're fighting?
It was entertaining. I boxed, but I've never heard anyone say that I was a boring fighter or that they didn't really like watching my style. I use a lot of the sweet science, as they say. But that kind of stuff is exciting to watch. It's I throw a lot of punches. I'm an active fighter. So all of my fights have been exciting. Even the one-sided ones where I was completely outboxing guys are still fun to watch. So I'm not really concerned about actively taking a conscious approach to making my style more exciting. I just think that I go out there and I fight in a manner that works best for me for getting the win, and it just so happens that it's good to watch.
Well, when you compare, say, your style to Floyd Mayweather, you think your style is more exciting? Some fans find his style.
Well, for one, I'm much busier. I throw a lot more punches than Floyd. He's very efficient with his punches, and he when he throws, he lands a very high percentage. But he's not exceptionally busy, every round. I think I bring a lot of energy and combinations and punches, to every single round. Even when I'm not throwing, I'm moving my upper body, I'm moving my feet, I'm moving my head, I'm feinting, I'm changing levels. All those things count. All those things are important, and all those things are setups and are part of boxing. It's kind of a lost art because I think it's difficult to teach, and unless you're a educated boxing fan or an educated trainer or fighter, you don't even see those kind of things. So it's just bringing some of the finer points of the sport out there.
Is there someone in history that you admire for that?
Lem, I think we lost. Oh, did you get it, Chris? Or
I got a good idea what he's doing.
Okay.
I think a great someone who's not even really from history, is a current guy, contemporary guy, is Bernard Hopkins. I think his style, the way he everything he does is for a reason. Those little head feints and little hand movements and those little shoulder rolls and gestures are all finer points of the sweet science. You see a lot of guys, the fiddly guys, utilize some of that stuff. But I mean, back in the before contemporary times, everyone did that kind of stuff. Shoulder rolls and feints, and I've seen videos of Sugar Ray Robinson and guys like Willie Pep, who did a million other things other than just punch. To set up the perfect shot or to offset their opponent's rhythm or find their own rhythm. Boxing is incredibly, incredibly complicated. It's not rock and sock and robots.
Perfect. My last question. There's been a reference made to the competitive. You found did you guys compete in? Won 3 of them. What were they?
Yeah, we had little games that we played at San Francisco Giants Stadium. We played pool, we bowled, and then we had batting practice. And then when we were over at ESPN Deportes, we had like an arcade shoot-off with basketball.
A Pop-A-Shot.
Yeah, Pop-A-Shot, yeah.
And did you win all 4 of them?
I did, yes.
Sounds good. Hey, Chris, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
We're going to wrap this call. A lot of people don't notice that Chris got finished training, and it was nice of him to get on the phone before he took a rest. So we're going to wrap the call up, Bob. I'll let you have a few concluding words here.
What did you say, Fred? Hey, what's this background noise? Where's that coming from?
I think Chris is in a noisy area.
Oh. All right. I just want to say that this has been a fantastic conference call. The promotion is really interesting. You have promotions where guys just trash talk each other. That to me is boring. This has been a very, very intelligent kind of promotion with both fighters. I think that everybody should watch on Saturday night HBO's Under the Lights, because the different styles of the fighters are discussed extraordinarily intelligently by Kellerman and by Tim Bradley and Virgil Hunter. It's a program I recommend that everybody watch, because a lot of the questions that you have might be answered by watching that program. And I want to say something else. This promotion has been like and this event has been like a real life Rocky story. Now we know Rocky came from the streets of Philadelphia, uneducated. We have a Rocky here that's highly educated, that's very articulate, but this is truly a Rocky story nevertheless. If I had scripted this and sent the script in to HBO, it would have been rejected because as being unrealistic. But here we are. It's real life, and Chris Algieri is the modern-day Rocky. And this should be a tremendous, tremendous event and fight on November 22nd. And I want to thank everybody for participating in this conference call. And Fred, you want to call on Chris for last remarks?
Absolutely. Chris, any final remarks before we let you get upstairs and get some rest?
For all the help and all the kind words. This really has been a tremendous promotion. I've enjoyed every moment of it. I hope that I was able to answer everyone's questions today, and that I will see you all on the other side of the world when it's fight week. I'm very excited. Team Algieri, all of us, we're all very excited, very much looking forward to this fight. And we've done the hard work, and we're ready to rock. Thank you, guys.